Welcome to Engineering Influence Podcast from the American Council of Engineering Companies, coming to you from our 2025 Fall Conference in San Diego, California. And we are joined, it's an annual thing. We do it twice a year. It's the Joe Bates Show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Joe Bates, Senior Researcher, ACEC Research Institute. We got a lot to talk about today.
Thanks,
We've
Jeff.
got, we got workforce study, firm of the future. We've got sentiment reports. You guys are putting out research constantly. You presented a couple times already at the conference. You did top 10 takeaways from the workforce studies coming out. Talked about the economic sentiment stuff that we've been working on for a while now. And I guess where to begin, Let's kick it off with sentiment.
Okay.
Yeah. How's the industry doing?
So in the third quarter, which was in late July, early August, when we conducted that study, we saw a rebound from the lows of the second quarter.
Yeah.
In the second quarter, obviously, that was early April when all the tariffs were being announced and sentiment took a pretty steep dive. So on pretty much every single metric, we saw huge improvements in the third quarter. Overall, current sentiment rebounded very, very nicely. It's actually to an all-time high of a plus 50. And that was just barely above the first quarter, which was a plus 49. So current sentiment was very, very positive in the third quarter. Of course, as you know, the industry sentiment as well as firm finances, it's always been very, very solid, very high in the plus 70s, plus 80s. So we're doing very well in those areas as well. We had a mid-quarter update, which we have now sort of dubbed the business climate lightning poll, and we're getting a really great response rate to that. And it's really helpful because within 3 months' time, especially in the last year, we've got a lot happening, a lot that's changing. And so what we're seeing as of just 2 weeks ago is overall U.S. sentiment has come back down just a little bit. Yeah. It's more in line with where we were all of last year in 2024. But oddly enough, and we'll have to see what happens with this, industry sentiment hit a low. It's a plus 71, I think. And it's the lowest it's ever been in the 4 years we've been conducting this study. Now, it's obviously still very strong, but it's the lowest reading we've ever had. So I think that this macroeconomic U.S. sentiment and uncertainty is starting to eat away a little bit.
Will bleed through into the industry.
But firm finances, again, it's a plus 85. We just can't get much better.
It's looking good. It's just, I think some of the tariff uncertainties kind of been now built in, priced in to, the industry.
That's right. Uncertainty or concern regarding the tariffs is actually only at about mid plus 20s right now. So it's not that bad. Inflation and costs are much more of a concern.
Yeah.
That went up again in the third quarter and it went up again in the mid-quarter sentiment. So that's actually a bigger concern than tariffs right now.
So really it comes down to the Fed and what are they going to do? And that I guess that constant give and take between the Trump administration and Jerome Too Late Powell, as the president liked to call him, it has an impact on what the industry is trying to look at right now. Are they going to cut rates? How far are they going to cut? How quickly are they going to do that?
Yeah.
And what does that mean?
Yeah. And, we are seeing a more favorable GDP and economic picture at the moment, despite the weakness in the jobs market. A lot of that's being driven by the lack of migrants who are coming into the country now. But we're also seeing firms they're not hiring, they're not firing in the broad economy.
Yeah.
In the engineering industry, we're still hiring.
Yeah.
We
can't get enough people. We don't have enough.
We don't have enough. We're not going to have enough for quite some time. And, many people are hoping AI can help fill the gap. But that's, it's still going to take some time.
Yeah, it's not there yet. And I think what we've heard over the 2 days of programming is even when that comes online, you're still going to need the people. It's not a panacea. AI is not going to reduce the need for workforce, but it could create efficiencies and allow firms to do more with less.
Yes.
But you still need the people.
Absolutely. Engineering is a very unique industry in this country. You can only automate so much so quickly, right? It's based on human safeguards, human designs, things that computers just can't do right now. So automating parts of those processes will happen, absolutely, but that's just going to take some time.
So that's sentiment. And I encourage anybody out there to go up on the ACEC Research Institute website and look at all of the sentiment surveys that have been done. Enough have been performed to actually get some trend data so you can actually see long-term trends on the industry. The lightning polls are great because they allow you to have some quick snapshots mid-quarter. And that also feeds into a lot of the work that's being done by the Institute on the larger Firm of the Future project. So for those watching who don't know what the Firm of the Future project is, explain that and some of the work that's going into do research within that.
Sure. So the Firm of the Future concept and project is what the Research Institute is doing to help prepare the industry for the 10-year horizon, 2035. And we have been doing lots of work with sort of the brain trust of the industry, the people that are volunteering their time to help us understand what are the pressing issues, what are the most important issues. We've done lots of scenario planning with groups of folks who are donors as well as other contributors outside the industry. And we have now a research plan. So the first project was AI, and we unveiled that at the spring convention earlier this year. The second project is the workforce study, which we have highlighted here at Fall Conference. And we'll be releasing it within the next couple of weeks. It's got a ton of data and information in it, which I'm just like so excited about. We have not had anything like this for our industry, and it's a very well-sourced project. I did it all myself. So
there you go. Gold standard.
Yeah.
That's gold standard.
Yeah. And I know we're going to talk a little bit more about workforce, but we also have several projects on the horizon as well. And when we talk about Firm of the Future, there's sort of three levels of horizon. One is more near term, one is sort of midterm, and the other one is long term. You know, AI is long term, workforce is long term, but we're going to start to work on some of the short and medium term projects early next year as well.
Yeah.
So, you know,
there's a lot coming out.
There is a lot. We're cranking it up for next year. And so while this year we had sort of two flagship studies in addition to the sentiment survey, we're probably going to have 4 next year.
All right.
And we're really going to ramp things up.
A lot of actionable business intelligence that executives can use and kind of use in their strategic planning. Yeah, workforce, you previewed that yesterday. You had a top 10 takeaways. You know what? Give us a snapshot of some of the highlights that are really top of mind on what you found in that research.
So one section of the report is on workforce population statistics. And this looks at the number of people in the U.S., you know, just population, college-age population students, as well as how many enrollments we have, how many people are graduating. And we also look at how many international students we have and the whole immigration issue, as well as people who are retiring and leaving the profession. So lots of different data points. And the bottom line is that we are not graduating enough students to replace the folks who are retiring or leaving the profession. With an asterisk, the real issue at the moment is that we have over 40,000 international students graduating each year with an engineering degree, and only 9%, we estimate, and that's the highest estimate we could provide, right? Only 9% are able to stay in the U.S. because they could get an H-1B visa.
And those are people who are trained at U.S. institutions.
Yes.
There are people who have completed their educations here, and firms want to hire them, and they can't get the paperwork to actually stay here and fill those roles.
Correct. If we were able to expand the number of H-1B visas or provide some other mechanism, you know, say if you graduated with an engineering degree, you get a green card or whatever, you know, automatic visa to stay and work, we could actually fill all of the needs that we need right now.
A lot of the messaging coming out of Washington right now, and it's the especially from the White House, is that these jobs should go to Americans first. That's not the situation for our industry. It's not a question of people being replaced by foreign workers or foreign American trained workers. It's a question of we have a deficit that we can't give this job a native born American engineer because they're not graduating. We need to have that backfill of the people who we train here to actually stay here, because we also don't want the brain drain, because these are highly trained people who will go back to their home countries and apply those skills there. We should actually be using that talent to increase and enhance America's infrastructure.
Absolutely. We do not have enough American-born students graduating in engineering. We just don't have enough. And I did the work. I wanted to see, is this going to add up or not? And we quantified the deficit. So there's just not enough people. That's all there is to it. And we need those international students.
Which is, again, underlines the work that ACEC is doing broadly on workforce, trying to get more people into STEM, into engineering, and then after they graduate, coming into the industry and staying.
Absolutely. And we do need to do that long term. We need to get into the K through 12 schools. We need to get students more interested in STEM. But that's going to take a long time. We have tens of thousands of international students every year who would like to stay in the United States and work, and they're not allowed to.
Especially at a time when we're 5 years past IIJA, the money slowly coming out, but it is coming out. And these are long-term institutional projects. If you're trying to invest in America, build out all the infrastructure that we need to actually accomplish the AI industrial revolution, the data centers, the energy systems to support it, you need the people. And if you don't have those people, then how are you going to actually create the future that you're promising today?
And international students, by the way, it's a very high bar to be able to come to the United States and study as an international student. You not only have to be the best of the best in the country you're coming from, but you have to have the financial resources as well. And a lot of people don't realize that international students, they don't pay out-of-state tuition. They pay an international student rate. It's really expensive.
So immigration, of course, is a big issue. It's not going anywhere. Workforce tied right into it. What else have you found coming out of the research?
So we did a survey of over 2,000 individuals who are working within the engineering industry. And we included 200 students who are studying engineering. We had non-engineers included in the study, as well as engineers. And that we included people who are young, mid-career, as well as older professionals. So this was the most comprehensive survey ever conducted of the engineering industry. And we asked about motivations, why they want to become an engineer, or why do they want to work in the engineering industry in HR or IT or whatever their field is. We ask about what the ideal firm is and what people are looking for. We also ask about the skills needed to succeed for young people in the profession. And we also ask older professionals what they think young people need in terms of skills in order to succeed. So a lot of data there.
Out of the data, did anything really rise to the top as a surprising answer? What were the trends?
So we found that there are more similarities than not between non-engineers, engineers, younger professionals, older professionals. So many more similarities than I had expected to see. So that's the good news. But there are really key areas of differences as well. So for instance, students who are coming into the profession, they're mostly concerned with having the skill set and translating that into real world experience. They're nervous about that. They haven't worked in engineering firms yet. And so that's a big concern for them.
I can tell you anecdotally, I spoke to a scholarship winner yesterday who said the exact same thing. A student in geo, he wants to be a geotech engineer. And he's like, I need a firm that gives me hands-on actual experience. And it's just not an engineering title in word, but it's an actual engineering title. So there you go, some anecdotal validation.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the other things we found, and we've heard this anecdotally, but we've quantified it, that younger professionals, as well as students, really are seeking purpose and they're seeking to make a difference in their communities and have an impact on the communities, much more so than mid-career or older professionals. It's a driving force. And even if it's not a primary motivator, it might be a secondary motivator for them. So that's something that I think really impacts all firms. They have to rethink how they're going to attract individuals who actually want to make a difference through their work. So we have a lot of data on that.
It's a marketing and messaging thing. It's not just look at the amazing projects we do, but it's the delivery and the impact that it has after those projects are actually delivered.
Another really interesting stat when it comes to skill set is that older, younger, engineer, non-engineer, everybody really focused on the same skills needed to succeed. So there's a lot of coalescence around what those skills are.
Yeah.
But the real interesting difference is that younger people and students feel they're fairly well prepared for succeeding with the skills that they think are important. Older professionals and executives, they are like, we're not so sure that those young people are prepared.
Which
So
is, that's an interesting disconnect, because I think there's a lot of a question about digital transformation and just how volatile. I feel like we are in the middle of a revolution of some sort. It's the fifth. We had a speaker call it the fifth. You can argue about the number, but there is a industrial revolution happening, and there's no common answer on the skills needed to actually carry through, or what the end result is going to be after this is done.
Yeah, absolutely. So some of those skills are, adaptability and being able to collaborate with other team members, being able to communicate with other team members. So there's the technical skills, and everybody thinks those are going to be very, very important. So there's no disagreement there, but there's a little bit of a split in terms of how important are those professional skills where you're going to need to talk to somebody as opposed to email it.
And there's enough reporting out there about the generational divide between people who are mid or late career, didn't have the same, exposure to social media, and the fact that there are generations, digital native generations coming up who aren't that good communicators in person. They're great online, but not so much in person.
Yeah. And the graduates right now, last year, this year, they're the students who were graduating high school when COVID hit.
Which was a huge disruption.
Huge. My son is one of them. And I saw firsthand how hard that was to adapt. The first year in university, you're fully remote. It was very, very difficult. So, we have young professionals in careers today within our firms, but now we're going to get a new crop of young professionals. We're going to have some very unique challenges as well.
So for firms out there who are looking to hire and looking to kind of structure their management and onboarding, this is good data to be able to help them figure out how they would actually do that, to culturally bring people into firms.
Absolutely. We have a lot of good information in this study about that.
So when is the study going to be released? I know you say it's done. We're kind of carving it and putting it together, but when is the release?
We're making final edits right now, and then we have to go to production. So it should be within the next couple of weeks.
Fantastic. So stay tuned for that one.
Absolutely.
So you got Firm of the Future within that workforce. You got the sentiment study and the lightning polls that are happening. You say that 2026 is going to be even bigger with Firm of the Future. So there's a ton going on.
Yeah, we've got more on workforce coming next year. We've got more on technology. The technology study we're going to conduct next year is going to look not internally in our industry, but externally. What are firms outside of our industry doing when it comes to technology, when it comes to AI? How are they leveraging it so that we can try to learn something from other industries?
Some good old competitive analysis.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
And then we're going to also talk more, we're going to look more at young people and sort of what's motivating them, how we can keep them engaged in firms so that they don't get, if they don't have that purpose, they don't find what they're looking for, what else can you do to keep them engaged and not have them leave the profession?
So you'll be on a lot more. We're gonna increase the number of shows focused specifically on this research. Joe, as always, I really appreciate your time. I mean, it's always great to preview the research and look into its findings. And again, keep up the good work.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate you having me.
Fantastic. And I really do encourage everybody out there to go to the Institute homepage, ACEC Research Institute.org, to look at not only Firm of the Future, the economic report, pretty much the forecast and the economic impact of the industry. You've got the other research being done in Firm of the Future, the AI study. There's just a ton of research you're not going to find anywhere else. And do that, and we'll keep on reporting as it comes out. So stay tuned and follow us. And I'll tell you what, I look at the numbers in the back office, and I see a lot of people watching the videos on YouTube, but not many subscribers. So take that moment right now hit that notification button, ring that bell, follow us for more so we can deliver this information to you. And this has been Engineering Influence Podcast with American Council of Engineering Companies. We'll see you next time.